Hi, thank you very much for listening in to this webinar, the second of our webinar entitled Maintenance and Mechanics. How safe are your vehicles and who's checking them? Today we'll be listening from Sandra Brandon from the Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency. Thank you very much for listening in to this webinar, our series of webinars which have been sponsored by the Institute of Road Traffic Engineers. If you want any more information at the end of this webinar, please visit our website, which is simply brakepro.org, or email the team at professional@brake.org.uk. I will now pass over to Sandra from the Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you very much. Good morning, and thank you for inviting me to talk to you today. My name is Sandra Brandon, and I'm currently part of the stakeholder engagement team with the DVSA, primarily responsible for light commercial vehicles. I'm going to talk to you today about your responsibilities about keeping your vehicles safe on the road. I'm going to cover things like who is maintaining your vehicle, data sets and driver CPC, and information that we have that might help you. The Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency was formed when the former Vehicle and Operator Services Agency, VOSA, and the Driving Standards Agency, DSA, were merged. DVSA are now responsible for all the previous work carried out by both agencies. We also get involved in things like bus monitoring and training and education, other things like annual testing, roadside enforcement, accident investigations, light vehicle MOT scheme. We also carry out testing for heavy goods vehicles at our contractors, which are now ATF facilities. The former work that was carried out by the DSA included things like driver and rider behaviour to support road safety, driving tests and assessments, developing and publish new evidence-based driving and riding standards, and to support and monitor and encourage the driver CPC modules. Much of the work carried out by the DVSA goes to the Traffic Commissioner in an aid to assist them in their decision making, but we are not the same organisation. The operators have to agree to certain undertakings when they sign up for an operator's licence. They have to agree to keep their vehicles maintained, they have to agree to stick to driver's hours, and they have to ensure that they have sufficient funds to operate and maintain their vehicles. The Traffic Commissioner will issue an operating licence to vehicle operators based on these undertakings and what they agree to. The undertakings and requirements for heavy vehicles are laid out in the DSA publications. The Guide to Maintaining Roadworthiness has recently been updated and is available on the website at www.gov/DVSA, and it is free of charge. Some of the changes include increased inspection intervals for older vehicles and trailers, safety inspection completion dates. These can be either mileage or time-based. The inspection facilities that operators are required to provide or have accessible must be suitable for the job. Operators of vehicles should be able to show that the brakes are working correctly and should include checking with a brake tester more often than once a year at annual test. During the last financial year, we stopped 155,897 vehicles on the roadside. As you can see from the figures, the prohibitions and things that were ordered were put on were pretty bad, and it's one of the reasons why we encourage people to look at the publications that we have and use them. These are the top 3 issues at the roadside which could cause serious damage if involved in incidents on the road. Looking at these defects, I think we would all agree that many of them should be spotted by a competent driver carrying out a check prior to setting off. Things like brakes, pretty standard, driver doors, braking systems, suspension and tyres, You know, these are all things that could be picked up before the driver left where he was that day. All vehicles must be roadworthy, but we only adhere to a minimum standard. Avoid prohibitions by carrying out walk-around checks and possibly not being authorised. Although so far we have mentioned heavy vehicles, a prohibition can be issued equally to light vehicles, and our examiners do carry out checks. The top 5 defects found on light vehicles are windscreen and wipers, tyres, engine and exhaust, road wheels and hubs, transmission. Once again, all of these faults could have been found by spotted by the driver prior to leaving with that vehicle. There is a pull-out version in the middle of the guide to maintaining roadworthiness of a walk-around check, and it can also be downloaded off the website, again www.gov/DVSA. There is also a leaflet for light vans at the same address. There's also films showing walk-around checks on YouTube for HGV, PSV and light vans. DVSA and the traffic commissioners do not expect all drivers to be mechanics, but do expect them to be able to carry out a walk-around check of the vehicle they're using and report any faults to management to ensure that they do not take defective vehicles out on the road. In the light vehicle MOT scheme, 21,500 vehicle testing stations test 28 million vehicles last year. They employ 55,000 testers to inspect these vehicles. The fail rates are seen here are worse failure rates for vans. Worrying, this hasn't improved much in recent years, and a similar trend has been found at the roadside. Do drivers view their vans as a tool for the job instead of just a mode of transport? The cold hard facts are 85% of what examiners find at the roadside should have been picked up during a walk-around check or in use monitoring. Further information, manuals, guides, newsletters, leaflets are all available on our website, and they're all free of charge and can be downloaded for your use. There are also videos on YouTube to visualize the type of checks expected. These are not designed to take up too much of the driver's time, but are designed to encourage you to have a look at the state of your vehicle before it leaves. Everyone has a responsibility to use the road safely, and there has been talk of having a vulnerable road users element to become a compulsory part of the driver's CPC training going forward. What do you think? I am sure this is going to raise some debate. Thank you for listening to me today, and I will now take any questions.